So alright, so first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodash. We say that when apostles and elders of great most honor rule, our teachers are apostles in the truth, and we say salutations, so they act on celebration of truth and say day in and day out. You know, constantly in season or season, we say shalom. You know, once again, going into our video here, and it's basically doing part 2 of a fool and his mouth. Right? Once again, going into the things that people, you know, that especially this person here on the screen, Charles, might have been saying about the Israelites and so forth, where he himself is an Israelite, but we know how they be. Is it like they call him a Uncle Ruckus, you know? But nonetheless, the things that a fool in his mouth say is long that part to lead him on the part of what? Destruction. Now this is this is Proverbs chapter 18 verse 7. They say a fool's mouth, it says destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul. So you say a fool's mouth, it says destruction, because again, these men they don't know how to rule the tongue. They don't know how to control the things they say, and they just want to speak evil upon things they know not they know nothing about. And that is a next video I have to do as well. You know, they keep on speaking about evil about things they know nothing about. They just bask in foolishness. They just bask in scoffing. They just bask in being an idiot. You know? So you say a fool's mouth, it says destruction. One thing about the internet is that where you will have men that will be pushing the truth, you know? The men are GMS, the apostles, the elders, agree most on the rule, right? And the brothers push the truth. You know, we use the internet, we push the word outside there, you know, to edify, to bring forth these prophecies, as they say, come to us about to wake up the elect and so forth. But then you have men like this, who use it for negativity. Who use it not to do nothing other than to cause strife. You know, in these men come and talk about what it is we could do and how we could do it. Why these men, they want us to go and fight Esau then. They're by the streets preaching, you know, they ain't doing nothing else other than that. But these are things that the Lord told us to do. But at the end of the day, we have to wait on the Lord. There's common sense. Go tell you how you go and fight Esau. How? So nonetheless, let me just play a piece of this video here.
They stood outside. It was probably like 200-300. What they do? Just stood there? From that video, yeah.
Yeah. They wasted everybody's time, including me. Just standing there with matching skirts and dresses, that don't do nothing, homie. They didn't disrupt the NBA.
Say here, man, no matching skirts and no. We know he's talking about IUIC and so forth. At the end of the day, they went by the ball center and so forth, but he also had other altercations with other camps. And he knew about us. At the end of the day, he knew about us. But you see, a fool and his mouth leading on the path of what? The destruction. Because what should he think he's saying here? Just, he don't even know. Speak evil of things he know not. This is Proverbs chapter 24 verse 7. It says, wisdom is too high for a fool. He opened his mouth in the gate. He that devises to do evil shall be called a mischievous person. The thought of foolishness is sin. The thought of foolishness is sin. I know the judgment of sin is what? Death. It say, and the scorner is an abomination to men. So you say wisdom is too high for a fool, and we don't know the wisdom that we be speaking, we be saying is too high for these men. Because why? They are fools. See, he opened not his mouth in the gate. And we know what they say wisdom is, right? It says Proverbs chapter 1 verse 20. It says, wisdom cried without. She uttered her voice. Wisdom cried without. She uttered her voice in the streets. She cried in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In a city she uttered her word, saying, how long ye simple ones will ye love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. So where would they find wisdom? In the streets. She cried in the sheep place of concourse and the openness of the gates. But a fool would not be there. Because it's why it have wisdom, but he will see the banner of the Lord there.
They didn't impede traffic. They didn't block no doors. They didn't slap no white woman. They didn't snatch nobody's pearl. They didn't vandalize no car. Them niggas.
So you hear all the things he's saying. You understand? That is wisdom to Jake. You know, destroying a car doing this time, that's not going to do nothing. You know, that's not going to do nothing. Right? That way it say the thought of foolishness is sin. The thought of foolishness is sin, and all these things he's speaking is foolishness. That's that thoughts coming out of his mouth is a sin.
Didn't do nothing but go stand there. So what's that for? That's a dog and pony show. Yeah, that was a show of a bunch of weak black men in America, homie, who read a bunch of books. But the books and the knowledge that they read, it don't manifest in none of their lives. They talk that Hebrew, we this, we that. Show us, nigga. Stop making movies. Stop sounding poetic and intelligent. Come show us who we are.
Hey man, stop sounding poetic. The scripture says, pipe this and they have not danced. Because why? Because Jake do listen. So you get things like these men here talking these kind of stuff. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 11. So from verse 12, it said the words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but the words of a wise man's mouth are gracious. This will show you that the things he's saying, the scripture is cutting it. That the words of a wise man's mouth are gracious. That is what? That is what you know say. It's something poetic. The words of a wise man sound gracious. It sound what? Gracious. Say the words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but the lips of a fool will swallow up himself. And you're seeing it, he's swallowing up himself. Right? You're hearing it. Right? Verse 13, it said the beginning of the words, of his mouth is foolishness. So as he said to speak, you know, as he said to speak, is this foolishness coming out. But the simple will be caught in the things he's saying because they're simple-minded. They themselves foolish.
Tired of motherfuckers telling us who we are. Because based on our actions, we ain't none of that shit they talking about. We ain't none of that shit they talking. And I don't want to be a part of nothing that cursed me 2,000 years ago. As good as my mother was, homie. As good as.
And that's what it is. We just curse. That's the thing. We choose the curse. So just like you. Use one of them, but choose them curses. They say the words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but the lips of a fool will swallow up himself. The beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness, and the end of his talk is mischievous madness. The end of his talk is mischievous madness. That is what it is. That is just his rants, his talk, his videos, just mischievous madness. Especially he talking about us. Because when you say the Hebrew Israelites, he's talking about the whole camp, because you hear him talk about this be on the streets and so forth. So that means he's been seeing, he's been watching. And again, countless of times, there are videos with him talking about and bouncing up the Israelites. You understand? Right? So I wish I could see the video here, but it has some videos where he did bounce up somebody on the streets. You know, all this other stuff, right? So he say, and the end of his talk is mischievous madness. That's madness. Let's hear the things he's speaking. Again, speak evil things and no not. And that's our next video, right? They say verse 14, they say, a fool also is full of words. A fool also is full of words. A man cannot tell what shall be and what shall be after him. Who can tell him? Say a fool is also full of words. Just listen to things he's saying. Just full of words. No edifying, no teaching, no righteousness, nothing. Just full of words. Right? Right? So yeah, so that is what it is. A fool and his mouth. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 21. Let me start from this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 21. I'm gonna start from verse 16. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, which is the book of Sirach, chapter 21, verse 16. It said the talking of a fool is like a burden in the way. It said the talking of a fool is like a burden in the way. Shit. It said, but grace shall be found in the lips of the wise. So here it said the talking of a fool is like a burden. Sometimes when a burden in the way, you don't want to go through it. You don't want to face it. And that is what it is with the talking of a fool is like a burden. You don't want to hear it. It said they inquire at the mouth of the wise man in the congregation, and they shall ponder his words in their heart. As is a house that is destroyed, so is wisdom to a fool. And the knowledge of the unwise is as talk without sense. And the knowledge of the unwise is as talk without sense. So the things he's saying, he's speaking on things he don't know. So he said the knowledge of the unwise is as talk without sense. So that's all talk is without sense. Because the interviewer and the interviewee both have no sense. They know, but they have no sense about where it is taking place. Because he would not be saying the things that, again, but just a fool. Right? It say verse 19, it said, doctrine unto fools is as fetters on the feet. No, doctrine unto fools is as fetters on the feet, and like manacles on the right hand. It say verse 20, a fool lifted up his voice with laughter, but a wise man doth scarce smile a little. It say learning is unto a wise man as an ornament of gold, and like bracelet upon his right hand. A foolish man's foot is soon in his neighbor's house, but a man of experience is ashamed of him. A fool will peep in at the door into the house, but he that is well nurtured will stand without. It is the rudeness of a man to hearken at the door, but a wise man will be grieved with disgrace. It said the lips of talkers will be the telling such things as pertain not unto them. They said the lips of talkers will be telling such things that pertain not unto them, but the words of such as have understanding are weighed in the balance. It says verse 26, it said the heart of fools is in their mouth. The heart of fools is in their mouth. So yeah, I might say, well, he calling him a fool because why? This listening things he's speaking, this listening things he's saying, listening things that coming out his mouth. He's a fool. He said the heart of fools is in their mouth, but the mouth of the wise is in their heart. Right? So the heart of fools is in their mouth, but the mouth of the wise is in their heart. Again, you had to stop listening to these fools. You know? Again, everybody had a following. You say the blind shall lead the blind, and both shall fall into what? A ditch. There's only one party going down. I don't feel you know that they seem like he plagued with spirits. Right? Right? So hey, nonetheless, a fool on his mouth. There's only one way that going down, like part of our destruction. So with that, we give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yom Shai, Ba'ashem Yom Kakodash. We said of apostles and elders, and priests, and we well of teachers of apostles in the truth. And we say salutations, only I come and say, push on, chit and say, day and day out. You know, constantly in season or season, we say, Shalom.